Welcome to the Romance Your Tribe podcast with me, Janet Beckers, where every episode is about action, creating an online business you absolutely love, and bringing joy to the work you do. Let's get this party started. Hello, Janet Beckers here, and today's episode of Romance Your Tribe podcast is very much debunking some myths, some marketing messages that are put out there about the way that you can be structuring your business and getting results for your clients, especially if you are in the health field. So if you have a service-based business and you've got the skills to work with your clients to help them get results that are going to really improve their quality of life and their health. So it could be physical health, it could be their mental health, their emotional or spiritual health. It could be a combination of all of those. It can be so many different ways of service that can be going from life coach to psychologist to dietitian to physical therapist, all of those different things that you can be doing. We're going to have a look at the way that the industries in health fields tend to train you and the way that customers are used to working with you in those fields. So we're going to have a look at that, and then we're going to have a look at online business models, and very often the extreme is the one that is being sold as the ticket to freedom. And that's because it's easier to market. This is the extreme, this is the results. But what I'm going to show you is three different models, three different ways that you can be approaching getting results for your clients that's also going to give you a fantastic lifestyle. And then we're going to look at the hybrid model because you're in charge of your business, baby. You get to choose, all right? So we're going to have a look at the three different ways, how they interlock together. We're going to look at pros and cons for you and your clients. And then we're going to help you to work out, what do I want? Okay, what's going to work best for me, the way that I like to work with people. So hopefully at the end of today's episode, you'll get a good feel for not only what are these three different approaches that you can be taking to help people get results in your business, but you'll have a good idea of the mindset change that you may need in order to be able to implement these. And if this is what you want to do. Okay, so hopefully at the end of this, you will have your vision for what you want your business to look like. Alrighty, now, if you're listening today and you're not in the health service industry, still have a listen because this really applies to practically every service-based business. I'm using the health industry at the moment because I work a lot with people who are in the health industry. And it's also, this is an area that there are some huge resistance to some of these models. So I really want to help you to be able to work through that. Alrighty, let's get stuck into it. But first of all, what are the three different approaches that we're going to talk about? And then we'll go into those in detail. So we have the one-on-one model, which is very likely what you're doing now if your business is already well established, or it may be what you're planning to do, because that is the way that it is the normal way to do things. You work with people, you do therapy, however it is that you work with them, and that's normally the business model. So we'll have a look at that one in a moment. Now, the next one is the coaching model. Now, you may not see yourself as a coach, but we're going to look at using coaching principles to bring that into your business. We're going to have a look at how does that actually look when you are a person who actually works doing some kind of therapy. How does that coaching model work? And what parts of it you may want to include in your business, or you might love this idea. So we'll have a look at that. Then the third one is we're going to have a look at the education model. I'll have a look at what does that mean. And we're going to look at some pros and cons. I'm going to give you a few reality checks, okay? Because a lot of times this is sold as the easy thing to do, put out some information products. I'm going to give you a reality check so that you get to actually make that work. okay? And you get to be a leader in your industry. So I'm going to show you what you need to have in place to actually totally lead your industry in that area. So we'll have a look at those three, and then we'll help you work out what's going to be best for you. Okay, so and just know I've got great resources to help you with this. So I'll let you know a little bit more about those, because we'll just cover the basics today. All right, so now let's start with the first business model, the one-on-one model, the therapy model. Now, this is the one that if you are training, now depending on what your specialty is, you may have been training for years and years and years. So for example, if you're a clinical psychologist and you're helping people with mental health issues, you've probably trained for a very long time, okay? And throughout that, I bet the majority of your training has been very much on the individual one-on-one model. If you are coming in and you're helping people with health, and you may not actually have done qualifications and training, but you have been getting great results with yourself, with other people, you've developed your own system. So it doesn't, either way, okay, your model still may very, very well be about working one-on-one. So let's look at the pros and the cons with that. So the pros are, this is a way that customers are used to working with you. So they will say, you know, when can I book in, and what's the rates? It's an easy. People are used to doing that. It's a much easier thing for you to be able to explain, because people get it. You know, come and have this session, and so that can work out really, really well. And it's a great way, especially when you're starting out your business. So in fact, you know, for you to really be able to know that you get results for people, you really do need to get some one-on-one time in there and see that you actually, you know, get the results with people. So that is a great way to do it. So, but what are the cons that come with that? Well, the cons with that is it's not very, you know, apart from not being scalable, it's also exhausting. So you can only make money when you're actually seeing clients one-on-one. And so that means that if you want to have a holiday, if you want to have a rest, if you want to go part-time, you have to be aware that that's going to impact on how much money you can earn. And especially in the health industry, I know that people have a lot of struggle with increasing their prices. Also, because with this model, people do tend to shop around a little bit, and they're looking at their prices, all those sorts of things. So, you know, you're actually capping how many hours you can work. And as a consequence, once your business really takes off, you can burn out because you keep on doing more hours. And I'm seeing this so much, especially in Australia at the moment, with counsellors, psychologists, anybody in the mental health field. Because we're very lucky in Australia that we have, I think it's been increased to 20 sessions that are subsidise with therapists for people's mental health, which is great. But it does mean that there's a lot of mental health workers, therapists, mental health clinicians that have got huge waiting lists, and that itself can be a real pressure for you. So whether you're at the very beginning and you're thinking, oh, I'd love a waiting list, that would be awesome. Why would people not want one? If you're in that position, you know how stressful it is, because you know people wouldn't be asking for you if they didn't need you, okay? So it can be a real stress. So that can be the main cons. When it comes to your client, if they are in a crisis point, like they've really injured themselves, or they're having a mental health crisis, or, you know, there's something that is really, really timely, like cancer, those sorts of things. You know, one-on-one is a fantastic way you can get results quickly. You can work intensely with people. It is great for that. And that can be fantastic for the client as well as for you. Where it can, but you know, quite often it can be very isolating for the client as well. And once you've got people that have got that immediate thing resolved, they may not feel the huge need, or it requires them going, well, do I really need you? So you very often don't get the same retention with clients. Or if you do get a long-term retention with clients, sometimes it's because they've become quite dependent on you. And I know this is a lot for people who are in anything that is an emotional or mental health. They can, you can have people that it's great, they keep on paying you, but you may not, it may not be best for the client. They can have a dependency. So there's pros and cons with all of these, and you will know in your own business, whether you're startup or really well established, you'll know which is the one that you're facing the most at the moment. And so every time I look at anything that I'm doing in my business, and when I'm working with my clients, when we're designing the way that we're going to work with clients, how you structure your business, what you're charging, it always starts with what is best for the client. And the one-on-one in certain circumstances is absolutely the best. But now we're going to look at some other models, because sometimes it is not the best for your client. So we're going to have a look at that. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you. The one-on-one model, how is that working for you at the moment? Is that something that you're just really happy to stick with, and you don't necessarily want to grow your business or free up your time? You're happy to do that? That's fantastic. If you're starting out and you want help with that, that's, I've got some great results with people to the point where, they've got huge waiting lists quite quickly. So, but you also, if you're thinking, I don't want to get trapped into that one-on-one, even if you're starting or you're in there now, and you're looking to be able to have some quality of life and freedom for yourself, or you may just be incredibly entrepreneurial and you're wanting to create new things. Now we'll look at these next two models. Okay. Now, here is the second model, which is the coaching model. So first of all, we'll look at how is that different to just having a group program. Okay, so a lot of times people will go, I might run group classes, group therapy, those sorts of things, and that can be brilliant. So let's have a look at a coaching model versus a one-on-one. Even though during a one-on-one, your ultimate aim is to be able to set the client go free, that they're going to have got their solution, very often them getting those results is very, very dependent on you. Whereas the coaching model, the mindset focus is very much on everything we are doing here is about empowering that person. So sometimes it may be slower in some way. So that's why one-on-one can be great if there is a crisis or I've got to get this happening now, because you can work closely and just get that. But the coaching model is a bit of a different mindset. Now, I'm not saying that you're not focusing on empowering your clients, but the coaching one is very, very much really focusing on that. And you're clear with the client as well that this is very much a coaching model that we're using. If we're going to need some therapy as well, we'll add that on. Okay, so it's a different way of thinking. So let's look at the pros and the cons with that. If you're in the health field because you really, really want to help people. That's why I love working so much with people in health industries, is you really, really want to help people. The client, without fail, usually comes way, way first. That's why you can tend to either burn yourself out or undercharge. So there is, it's different to a group. So the coaching is very much about let's get you so that you get results. So the pros with this is it is actually going to be getting long-term results for your clients, because they're going to have the skills. And so if they get in a situation where they would be going, this could have triggered the need for whatever kind of therapy that you give, that they will have the skills to be able to help themselves. Of course, sometimes they're going to need some sort of they may need some one-on-one, just the therapy, but the coaching is really designed towards that. Now, the nice part with the coaching, you can use that with people just one-on-one, but it then becomes far more scalable. You can move that into one-to-many, and then you can easily then adapt that to our next model, which is education. So to take therapy and try to move it into one-to-many and to scale it is a difficult thing to do. But to take it where your whole plan is around empowerment, it is a very different mindset that you need to bring in to just differentiate, so you know, I've got my therapist hat on, I've got my coaching hat on there, and let your clients know, okay, this is our coaching option. Now we're in coaching mode. Oh, let's go into therapy mode. So it's a different way of looking at the way that you're working with your clients. So what needs to happen with this? In order for this to succeed, you need to have a framework, because coaching ad hoc, being done just in, tell me what your issue is and now I'll, give you some resources, coach you through that, can get too close to the therapy side. So in order to use this as a business model that's going to free you up, well, you need to have a framework so that you know that, okay, I can actually help more than one person. I can be creating resources with one client that can be used with another. Because the whole idea of a coaching approach means I'm looking for the things that my client can then implement, and my client can then get the empowerment to be able to use themselves. So to do that, you need to have your own framework. Now, that's where I come in. That is my specialty, and I love doing that, finding the way that you're helping with your client and creating something that is unique to you. Now, the beauty with this is you can then use that framework and any resources you create to work with people one-on-one. And it also means that you can have groups of people, whether they're all coming through in one cohort or whether they're going at their own rate, and then they have some kind of group interaction, which can be so many different ways, from running a retreat to having a Facebook group. Like, we're going from extremes there. It's the approach, okay? Now, this is usually the first step that I do with people when they've been working, when they've been used to working one-on-one, or they had intended to have one-on-one, is we work one-on-one to understand the way that you get results with people, and then we start creating your framework and testing it with a small group to go, did this work? Like, can people get results from me coaching them? And so you're still involved. You're still involved with this. So they're working through material and you are coaching them, okay? And if needed, sometimes you may even decide you're going to combine a little bit of whatever your therapy, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever. So that is the coaching model, and that's where you really get to create the, you can create one-to-many, but it's also where people get to feed off each other. So they get to peer support as well. This is the real beauty of the coaching model. And it's usually where you get outstanding results with your clients. Very often you can get greater results with your clients in this sort of model than you could from a one-on-one model. So I love it. And so, but you need to make sure that you have got a framework that you can then test, and that it's going to make you stand out. Now, it's got so many advantages that come with that, because once you've got that framework, it allows you then to use those amazing wealth of resources, of connections that you naturally build up within any kind of health industry. And referrals are so easy because you have the solution. Okay, now let's look at the third model, and that is the education model. Now, this is something that is sold a lot online. So whenever I have people who have been, that are in the health industry, and they will come to me and say, I want to build an online business. Awesome, let's do it. There has been so much BS put out there about all you have to do is create a course, an ebook, run some live webinars, all those, those sorts of very, very hands-off, straight to education, and your business will thrive. I can tell you, it's not that easy. It's not just easy for you to go straight from doing one-on-one therapy to, yep, I'm going to just build this 7-figure business based on the back end of I'm going to create the course from scratch. Okay, so where the next step is once you've done that coaching and you've had the group that you go through, if you, for education to work really well, you want to be able to go with absolute integrity that I am going to help you to get from point A to point B using this training, education resources that I've created for you that you can use yourself. Because there's too many people in the industry putting out stuff that is so superficial that they haven't tested. They know it works with a one-on-one client, but they don't really know if it's working with people when they're actually on their own using the education. So that's where people sometimes will come in and they're going, I just want to do an ebook. That's going to be the result. It doesn't work that way. Here is the way that means that you get to have a business that you are incredibly proud of and gets amazing results for your clients. And there is no better marketing for your business than clients who get results. Oh, there you go. My phone has rung. There you go. When you're recording a podcast, turn your phone off. Good hint. Note to Janet. So with the education model, it means that what people are doing is they are doing a course, whether they're watching videos, whether they're reading, whether they're doing a combination, whether they're watching recordings of a live webinar that you may have done. That education model can be incredibly scalable and for you to be able to grow your business. But just keep in mind, you want to be absolutely confident that you get results. So by doing the combination here, one-on-one, then starting to introduce the coaching model and your framework and see if you get results, then taking everything that you create from working with people coaching and then putting that into some kind of self-study course or books or packages that you've created, doing it in that way is a really beautiful way for you to then have the freedom to go, you know what? I'm now only going to be offering my education. Or you know what? I'm going to do a hybrid. I'm going to have the combination of the lot. I'm going to be able to offer which ones I want to do. Or as I've done in the past where I've gone, you know what? I'm not going to do any one-on-one for a while, but I actually really, really get a buzz from working closely with people. So I'm going to run a series of retreats so I get to see them in person. You've got the resources, you've got the framework that you can very easily mix and match as you're going. And the fastest path is actually the way that I have just outlined it there for you, which is one-on-one, know you get results. Adding a coaching model and testing it with a group of people so you know that the framework gets results with people, with you walking them through and helping them. And some of that help can be one-on-one if you want to. It's your choice. And then you can go, okay, well, now I'm going to have the education model. It's going to be so easy to sell because look how many case studies I've got. That's going to be easy. It actually ends up being an easier result and you can really use your relationships so you don't have to spend a lot of your bandwidth, your funds trying to pay for traffic, mastering Facebook ads, those sorts of things. You can then use your network because you stand out as the leader. And you can go, depending on where where you're at in your business at the moment, on whether you know you can get results for people. This does not have to be something that takes years. This can be something that can be done in 90 days. Okay? I know that because that's what I do with my clients. I can take you from, if you know that you can get results with clients, you can go to that framework with that test and then getting into the education model within 90 days. And you know then that you get to decide, how much do I want to work with one-on-one? How much do I want to have for coaching and group coaching? How much do I want to have with people going through an education model. If you've got that waiting list there, that coaching and the education model is going to free that up for you. If you're right at the beginning and you're going, I don't want to get stuck into only working one-on-one, you can start and plan this right from the very beginning. So you're creating your framework as you work with your clients. I love doing this because what I then find out is once I've worked with clients that I've got them very quickly to get their framework and then getting people into their program, is then they go, okay, well, that's actually making me more money than I am doing through all the one-on-one. But I love the one-on-one. I'm only going to work with the clients that give me the greatest satisfaction, and I'm going to put my rates up. I love seeing that confidence that comes with people when I see them being able to really confidently make those decisions. And so in summary today, this is, you get to choose. It's your business. You get to choose how you want your lifestyle to look. You get to choose like what floats my boat. Like what do I love doing? You know, if you love doing one-on-one, you don't have to give it up because, you know, you're selling out from being a course creator. And if you love seeing that you've got some freedom in your business and you love having that you can see that people are actually really empowered and taking total control in their own lives, or you may love having the coaching model, and you may love adding on the education model, and you may decide you don't want to do one-on-one, or you're only going to include the one-on-one with your coaching. You get to choose, baby. You get to choose whatever floats your boat. And just because you choose one way doesn't mean it has to stay that way, because now you've got options that you can start putting a focus on one, move a focus to another when you want to. That is the true freedom that you have available for you, that you can be delivering online or offline if you want to. It's your business, your choice, okay? Rather than it having to be this over technical, if I'm going to go online, I've got to have this incredible setup that I see that other people have. You get to choose. You get to have the business that gives you joy. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. What's the ones that resonate for you? Like when you're thinking about your dream business, your dream, what does my week look like? My month look like? My year look like? What does it look like for you? Is it a combination of therapy, like treatment, and coaching, group coaching models, and education? Is it a combination of those? Is it just all of one, all of the other? What's the thing that what's your dream business? I would really, really love to hear from you. So wherever you are, great place to do is come and find me on any of the socials, which is Janet Beckers at everywhere. So just come and find me there, or send me the email. I would love to hear from you. Like, what is the one that resonates with you? Now, if you want help doing this in a way where you're going to be incredibly proud because you have got a framework that actually gets results for people, and you're really, really proud to do that, and you want to be able to do that in a 90-day period, come and let me know, because that's my gig. That's what I help you do, and I would love to work with you. Okay, go out there, create that dream business that you want to. You can do it, and I hope this has given you a few ideas. Okay, bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I loved hanging out with you, so let's do this again. The best way to do that is to subscribe right now to Romance Your Tribe podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to dive in deeper to more episodes, great resources, and really in-depth free training, come over and join me at romanceyourtribe.com. Bye.